A truce is holding, at least for now. We're not talking about the Middle East, but two rival neighborhood groups that have been fighting in the streets of Southeast Washington for years. They announced a truce earlier this week. The credit goes to the grassroots group, the Peaceoholics. With us now are two of its leaders, Moten and Jauhar Abraham. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here with us. All right, I said the truce is holding, at least for now. Can you verify that it's still holding?
Yes, as of today it is still holding.
How tenuous is this peace deal, though? I mean, are these guys looking over their shoulders all the time, or what?
Well, after the truce, they had dinner. The boys and the girls came together and they had dinner. And the girls was so funny, they was like, now we can start dating the boys up there again. But with children, it's so, iffy. We have to continue to keep them engaged, and that was our plea to the business community as well as the government. These children have needs. They need jobs, and they need other support services from the city. And so far, Councilmember Berry, Councilmember Brown, and also Mayor-elect Fenty have pledged to support these young people.
How did you manage this peace? How did you manage this truce?
Well, first of all, it started with the girls. Just like we did some studying with Reverend Bevel, and in the 60s during the Civil Rights Movement, they always got the girls first. So that's what we did. We went and got the girls first. This summer, Deputy Mayor Brenda Donna Walker sponsored a retreat where we took 14 different crews, female crews, out of town, and from that came the truce between the Chopper City and Woodland girls. And then we worked with them for the last 6 months and kept them engaged. And they are friends now, and they help us bring the boys on board, where a lot of the violence was happening, like on the buses and things like that. And we were able to finalize the deal this week, and it was important.
You were talking about the bus, and a lot of people, when we reported this news story, they said this is like terror in the streets, this is local insurgency. And while people are glad to hear that the violence has subsided, people are also wondering about accountability and justice. We had people on the air who were saying, just last week I was shooting at someone and now I'm sitting down over dinner talking with them. Are these young people not going to be accountable for the crimes they committed? Or is that part of the deal you brokered, that they have a pass, I guess, so to speak?
Well, one of the things that we have to take in consideration is about 4 years ago, I found myself as a citizen of Washington, D.C., at odds with one of the lawmakers, one of the council people at that time. He's no longer an elected official in D.C. because they had no plan in place for the young people. And if you go to those neighborhoods in Woodland or in Anacostia, there's no rec centers, no programs in place for older youth, teenagers, 14 to 19 years old. So I think the government has a role in this because they never planned to do anything with their time, and they know the schools are low performing at Ballou and Anacostia. This plays a part.
Well, it plays a part, but it still doesn't give the people who committed a crime, shooting up a bus, injuring people, injuring innocent people, not just fellow gang members or rival gang members. The question, though, is, are they not going to, those who committed serious crimes, not going to be held accountable?
Well, when we go in to do truces, we don't go in to get people locked up. We go in to empower them and let them know that they are leaders and they can take this negative behavior and transform it into doing positive things. And once they get the help that they need and a fair chance, anything that they do at that point, we make sure, we let them know if you're around us and you do something wrong, then you got to be accountable for it.
All right, we do have to go, but I have to ask you one question. Okay. Keeping them out of the gangs, besides having recreation programs and jobs, you were there at one time. Is that temptation still great for these young people? I mean, is a rec center going to make a difference for the majority of them? Is a job going to make a difference for the majority of them? Or is the temptation so strong to get back into a gang?
No, the help helped me and it helped Mo. And so we know that the help will be sufficient. Not 100% of the children will turn around, but the vast majority of our children are not out committing heinous crimes and fighting each other. The majority of them are going to school and trying to learn to become peaceful and be good citizens.
And when I came home in 1994, I was locked up, and I came into a program, and they helped me out, and from that came the Peaceoholics. So all they need is a fair chance, you know.
right.
And once they get that, we can hold them accountable. And another thing, if somebody kills somebody, we definitely not trying to save them. You know, they got to go to jail.
They
so
have to
let's
pay
be
the
clear
price
on
for
that.
something like
Yes,
that, and that's
yes,
what I wanted you to be clear on.
Yes.
And Ron Moten and Jauhar Abraham, thank you very much. Thank you for bringing this piece about for the citizens of D.C., and happy holidays to you.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you.
Right now, we want to check in with Renee Snyler. She has a preview of tomorrow's CBS's No, We Don't. Okay, we're going to go to our bump now. Your next pain reliever may come with more warnings on the label. The Food and Drug Administration wants companies to put more prominent warnings about potential side effects on bottles of aspirin, ibuprofen, and acetaminophen. We'll have more on that and another way to stay healthy when we come back.